there. Good morning, everybody. My name is Siobhan Jefferson. I am the Group Recruitment Manager for the Richter Group, which includes a company called 48.3. So I'm going to have a chat to you today about 48.3 along with the rest of the Richter Group in terms of the opportunities that we provide within the organisation. So I'll just share my screen. Hopefully it will work. Okay. Is that visible? Yes. Yeah, good. Okay. So the Richter Group includes a company called 48.3. Richter itself is an overall parent company. We are a design engineering consultancy established 31 years ago now, but has rapidly grown in the last 3 years. Richter itself has engineers specialised in civil, structural and geotechnical engineering, primarily within temporary works design. That is our major area of specialism that we are known for. We operate across the group now with 10 offices across the UK. We also have offices in Poland and Australia, and we will soon be opening another office in Scotland in the new year. A part of the Richter Group is another business called 48.3, which primarily specialises in scaffolding and access systems, which is associated with temporary works. The company also covers any forms of temporary works above ground as well. And a part of Richter as well, we have a third business, which is our pre and ground watering solutions business. So highly specialised engineering consultancy. We're probably about 175 strong now and still growing. So like I said, we've rapidly grown over the last few years, and we will continue to do so, looking at specialising, obviously, continuing in our temporary works, which we cover all areas of temporary works design across big infrastructure projects. So anything rail, marine, demolition, any sort of commercial construction is what we do as a whole, as a group of businesses. And obviously 48.3 primarily focuses on the scaffold solutions across, again, globally, across large infrastructure projects. So what we offer is we are design consultancies. So no, we don't work. We're not working on site. We do go on site for site visits, but we specialise in actual engineering design. So we've got a whole range of completely specialised engineers. We recruit from apprentice level through to chartered experienced hires. I'll give you, our business as a whole is a very diverse business, from our youngest person in the business who's recently joined as an apprentice at 16 years of age, right to somebody in their 70s that's highly experienced, that still works, that work for our organisation. So we're a very diverse business that is that has a unique culture as well. So as I said, Richter itself specialises in temporary works, geotechnical. We do obviously do scaffolding as well, but any sort of like major, huge scaffolding projects, our 48.3 business specialises in. Demolition, and we also do permanent works as well. But as a business, our goal is to be the #1 temporary works design specialist in the country. So that is our goal as a business, to give you a bit of a snapshot as Richter as a whole. Our business is very much based upon our core values. We're a very people-focused business, and we generally, sort of hire based on, the cultural, how well somebody culturally matches our business. So it's really important to us that, the people who come and join us and work within our business uphold our core company values, which you can see are respect and consideration, challenge and innovate. We believe we're quite an innovative company. Passion, enthusiasm, courage. We focus on everyone's well-being, health and personal development. Trust and integrity is a big part of our business as well. And open and honesty. We're a company that obviously gives people a lot of responsibility and autonomy. And we expect a certain, obviously, level of sort of core values back from that as well. 48.3 itself, as I said, is a scaffold design specialist and access systems. So again, they will focus on everything from the complete initial preliminary stages of design right through to the whole design process through to actual build itself. Designing any forms of, they also design other forms of temporary works, but as I say, it's primarily a scaffold design consultancy. Again, 48.3 recruits based on core company values. There, again, we assess people against those core company values, and we obviously performance review people against those across the whole company, you know, throughout everybody's stage of the career. So see the finished structure before you start, say what you do and do it. So act upon what you do is really important within 48.3, not just say you're going to do it, but really sort of, you know, make it happen, be better than you'd expect, achieve more and build together. And basically everything's a win-win if we all work together. To give you an idea of some of the projects that we do across the business, you know, you can obviously, this is a Richter-based project, which is focused on marine temporary works. So my screen's disappeared off here, hang on. So new bridge construction basically in the estuary. So massive project, floating pontoons. We had to obviously design the steel cofferdams for that and do all the construction sequencing for it. This gives you an idea of the scale of the project. Also, some of the work that we do, working within bridges, doing the temporary works design checks and that for a new bridge construction on the A14. That was a really large, sizable project, and looking at the formwork, false work designs. One that most people recognise from 48.3 as well is our Tottenham Hotspur Stadium project, which I think took about 2 or 3 years to actually do. Massive project, huge scaffolding installation that we did all the design for, and obviously the installation for as well. And again, another example, working within a hotel and leisure complex, design all the scaffolding for that actual complex to be built as well. So, which is in Leicester Square. Number of real big challenges that the company was faced with to design the access, planning it out, scoping it out, and actually obviously being on site there for the construction of that throughout the project as well. So these are some of the companies that the group works with. So as a whole, generally we work with probably 95% of our business is with contractors, with construction companies, supporting them in terms of their in-house design teams. But also if some haven't got in-house design teams, obviously we are their design partner as well for them. It gives you a bit of a snapshot about us. I think what's important to mention as well for any undergraduates and graduates looking to join our Richter 48.3 business is that in terms of your training, 48.3 itself has a ICE approved training academy program, which one of Newcastle's current year out placements students is undertaking at the moment. Which actually goes towards your professional qualification. So it is an approved scheme that they work, you know, anybody that joins 48.3 at whatever level works way through, unless you're obviously chartered, obviously. Like I said, you'll get a lot of support on this. There'll be modules that are delivered that are tailored to your needs, and they'll go towards your IC attributes. So obviously already working towards, if you join on a year out placement or obviously a graduate placement, then you're already working towards your chartership as soon as you start with 48.3. So all counts as credits towards your ICE chartership. So that is a specialised programme that we deliver, and to hopefully, you know, sort of encourage you know, the future chartered engineers in the industry to come and join our business. So I suppose our jobs as well that we're going to be looking for next year we'll start advertising from January onwards. I know they're not on the website at the moment. That's because we are currently reviewing, but we will be looking to hire in 48.3 in our Gateshead office, Leeds, Redhill, and our new Scotland office, which will probably be in, it's going to be in Glasgow. So 48.3 will be looking in all those offices next year that we will then advertise from the new year onwards. And then Richter as well has offices all over the UK, so they will be potentially advertising their positions as well with the university to come and join the Richter business itself. So hopefully that answers, covers off quite a broad range of information in a short period of time. So I appreciate it might be a little bit of overkill information or gone through things quite quickly, but obviously ask things at the end of it.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Siobhan.
Okay.
Really nice brief introduction to 48.3 and to Richter as well. And, you know, it's great to see all the fantastic large scale projects that the company has been involved with. And I'm sure our students will have some questions for you at the end. Okay, so next up we have Cummins. So Anthony, whenever you're ready, the virtual floor is yours.
Cool. Good morning, everyone. I hope you can see the presentation there. Fine. Yeah, good stuff. So thanks for the opportunity to talk to you today about Cummins and career options we've got available. My name's Anthony Hart, and I'm the design and simulation manager based out at Darlington site, which is about 40 minutes south of Newcastle, if you're not aware. So that's quite slow. This slide gives a bit of a snapshot and background on Cummins with some key stats. So Cummins is a powertrain company operating in the commercial vehicle sort of segment. We currently operate in around 190 countries, so pretty much all of them, with a global workforce of close to 60,000 employees. So we are a large company. Our business was founded in the US primarily as a diesel engine business in the early 1900s. And we're actually the largest independent manufacturer of engines in the world. So the 1.3 million engines that we built last year, you can see on the slide there. 9,000 dealers, close to a billion US dollars of research and technology investment. So that's basically what Cummins invests on the projects that you and our engineering teams would be working on. So that the big investing in the future of the industry. And yeah, I guess 102 years shows that we've been around a long time. So the next slide shows a little bit on some of our products and Cummins' technology. So we've got quite a broad portfolio. As I mentioned, we originally started as a diesel company, and you might have seen a lot in the press recently about how bad diesel is and that type of thing, primarily around the passenger car industry. So we operate slightly different to that. We're in more the commercial sector. So buses, trucks, off-highway equipment, tractors, emergency power generation equipment, mining equipment, train engines, that type of thing is where we are with that side of things. Natural gas variants. And then we've also got our new power business unit as well, which is growing. So the products that they are working on are around alternative powertrains as the industry moves that way. So I think diesel will still be around for some time in the commercial sector, but we do have products that are fully battery electric powertrains now, some hybrid solutions where you've got some sort of battery electric product and a internal combustion engine, and then fuel cells as well. So you might have seen recently, if you follow anything from the IMechE, we've got about a 15 million grant from the UK government to invest in hydrogen technology and hydrogen engines. So there's a lot of exciting things going on in that side of things as well. And there's a real opportunity, I think, to contribute towards future climate goals and how we solve the future and emissions and that type of thing. Because with engines, for example, the emissions legislations came in the early 90s, Euro 1. We launched Euro 6 in 2014, and that represented a 99% drop in the engine out emissions. So if you want to be involved in making a difference to the future, then I think we're kind of the company for you with the product range that we're going to be investing in. A few points on the awards that the company's been given. So I think a lot of companies do kind of talk the talk on ethics and being a good company to work for, but I think I've got first-hand experience from working for Cummins myself, and from talking to guys in my team who've worked for other companies, that Cummins does really walk the walk with this as well. So you can see some of the headlines there that I'll let you read, but ethical companies, we regularly hit awards for the best diversity, empowering women engineering, human rights and that type of thing as well. So Cummins really is a good place to work, and it will invest in you as well and help you develop where you want to grow. Next slide is a really quick snapshot of my career timeline, just to give you a flavour of what my path was at Cummins in engineering. So I started as a graduate engineer in 2008 around the customer side of the business. So we are an independent powertrain supplier. We don't manufacture the vehicle. So we've got to work with all of our customers who buy our powertrains to integrate them properly. And that's what that role was kind of covering. I then moved into a design engineer role in 2010. So I worked on a real broad spectrum of our engines, from the smallest engine, which is a 2.8 litre, right up to our 15 litre engine, which is the biggest that we do in our engine business right now. Basically across all the components on the engine over that time I touched. So I did that role for around 7 or 8 years. Did some work in our electrified power business as well for some time. So the exploded picture you see there is a battery pack for a commercial vehicle. So it's quite a large, heavy thing that, and it was really interesting to work on some of that new technology. I then did a role as a technical project leader. So I picked on the overall leadership for a brand new engine that's actually not being launched yet. So I can't give you any more details on that, but it was for an off-highway application. So it was really good to have leadership on that project and use all of the skills that I'd learned over the previous several years. And then my most recent role, the current one, is as design and simulation team manager. So I've got a group of about 20 people who report through me on the engine design side, and also the simulation. So structural analysis and fluid CFD analysis capability in the team. And a couple of the pictures. So the image, the 2D black and coloured image is a CFD simulation I did as my final year project that Cummins sponsored. So that is a cross section of a combustion ball in the top of a piston in an engine, simulating how the fuel sprays and combusts. The one below that is in India. So I've been lucky enough to travel quite a bit with Cummins. We've got operations all over the world, as I said. So that was at a festival in India a couple of years ago. And then the one above is on the Great Wall of China. So I've been to China several times as well, and been lucky enough to visit the wall there. So very quickly on me. And then the last slide, I guess, on the opportunities we have available. Obviously happy to answer questions on any of these slides. I appreciate I've gone them through quickly, but basically internships. So we've got 12-week summer internships available. It's listed as our Huddersfield site there. I think we've probably got them at some of our other sites as well. So check out our careers website. The link is there at the bottom for more information on that. The main one I wanted to mention today was our graduate intake for 2022. So starting next summer, sort of after folks graduate, we have a lot of opportunities at our Darlington site that I'm based at, primarily around the areas listed there. So service engineering, design and validation, which is the group I work within, test operations, our current product support team, calibration software development, and also our customer engineering side of the organization. So we've got 20 roles available. From what I understand, we are filling those as and when we find suitable candidates. So they're open right now to apply for. So please check that link out and get your CV submitted if you're interested. And then finally, 12-month placement. So if anyone wants to do a year in industry, 12-month sandwich type placement, we've got them available at all of our UK sites. You see them there in Huddersfield, Darlington, Daventry, MK, Manston, Peterborough and Ramsgate. So we've got a lot of sites across the UK and a lot of those roles across all of our business units. So again, head to our website for more information.
Excellent. Thanks so much for that, Anthony. Thanks for providing us with a really good insight into Cummins. And it's great to hear that the company doesn't just offer graduate roles, which I'm sure will be of interest to everyone attending today, but those summer internship and placement opportunities as well, I think will make Cummins a really attractive option to our engineering students. All right, and last up we have Arup. So Dominic, we'd love to hear from you about opportunities at Arup.
Great, thank you very much. I'm just sharing my screen now. I don't know what you can see. Are you able to see some slides? Oh, hello?
Yeah, Dominic, that's coming up just fine.
Perfect. Is it in the full view?
It is, yeah.
Perfect. Fantastic. Thank you. So yeah, good morning, everyone. Lovely to be here. So just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Dom Cowley, and I'm one of the recruiters here within the Arup Early Careers team. And I am responsible for recruiting our early careers roles across our infrastructure and consulting sectors. And I'll go into a little bit more detail around what our sectors are and obviously how you can get involved as a graduate or as a placement student, depending on what you're studying at the moment. So just to quickly introduce Arup at a very high level. So we are a global firm of engineers, designers, planners and architects. And I'll come on to a little bit more around how we were created as a company and what we really stand for today. But in terms of what we do, essentially we are a global business that delivers lots of projects across the world related to infrastructure. We have loads and loads of projects on the go at any one time, and I think it's really nicely illustrated with some of the stats that are in front of you. So revenue wise, we have a revenue of $1.8 billion. We employ 16,000 people, so across 96 different offices across 35 different countries. So we really do have that global presence, not only in the projects that we deliver, but in the workforce that we have. And then at any one time, we are delivering more than 14,000 different projects across 146 different countries. So very much like Cummins, we are, we have a presence in most of the countries across the world. And for us, it's really important that no matter where we're delivering a project, we obviously want to deliver that project with the highest quality, but also ensure that we are leaving communities in a better place than they were before we started the projects there. So that's a very high level picture of who we are as a business, if you hadn't have heard of Arup before this session. And then quickly just wanted to touch upon the key markets in which we operate in, and I think very relevant if you are studying a particular degree and particularly a particular engineering degree. So we work across 4 different pillars. So cities, we have lots of planners in particular across our cities. So town planners who are working on different pieces of infrastructure. One of our sectors is buildings. So they play a really key role. I was actually, as part of my stakeholder engagement yesterday, was speaking to a member of the facades team, and really interesting to find out more about how the outsides of buildings actually look, because they say it's often the infrastructure teams that get all the credit, but actually it's really important the role that they play as engineers to make sure that the outside of buildings are practical and operate in the highest of quality. We also operate within energy. So I'll come on to a slide a little bit later that will show you some of our roles that we have live at the moment, but we have a really key focus at the moment around renewable energy sources, climate change specialists as well. We have lots of those available at the moment. So making sure that anything that we do, any projects that we deliver are renewable, and we are not harming the environment is massively important to us, and really key to any projects that we deliver. We're also very heavily rooted across transport as well. So one of the key projects that we are delivering at the moment in the UK is HS2, which I'm sure most of you will be familiar with. It's a long-term project for us, and it's one of our biggest projects globally. But we also work across highways as well. That's another key sector for us in terms of transport. Yeah, lots of really cool stuff going on within that market. And then finally, water. So your reservoirs, your dams, your rivers as well, your banks. Lots of really exciting projects going on within water at the moment. So those are our key markets, and I guess this slide just sort of encapsulates everything that we do, all of the projects that we deliver. But we are very, very diverse in terms of the employees that we have delivering those projects, and the engineers in particular that are delivering those projects. So just to quickly highlight a bit around our founder, who is Ove Arup. So Ove Arup founded Arup in 1946, and he had a key message, key philosophy around total design. So this is his mantra, I suppose. And it's the creative partnership between architect and engineer. So really not, and very, very much relevant to today, but not operating in silo teams, and making sure that skills and knowledge are being implemented across different teams. We work together to ensure that projects are delivered within the highest quality. Ove Arup actually set about a key speech in 1970, which set out our core values as a company. So this is over 50 years ago, but these core values are still very much relevant to how we operate today as a company. And I think I've got those on the next slide to tell you about. So if you are thinking about applying to Arup, no matter what role you go in, you're looking to do, I think really important to do your research around Ove Arup. He's a really, really inspiring guy, and said about some really, really key values, as I said, that we still actually stick to this day. So just to quickly highlight these key values. The first one, ensuring that Arup's name is always associated with quality. So I think this is really key. As I've mentioned, we want to ensure that the Arup name is only associated with quality. So as a business, we won't quickly take on projects. We want to really make sure that we have the right skills, we have the right resources, and more importantly, we have the right people in order to deliver them. So we will only take on projects that we feel we will deliver the highest quality around. Second one, act honestly and fairly in dealings with staff and others. So here at Arup, we have a relatively flat structure in terms of the hierarchy. What I found, only being here less than 2 months, everyone is so willing to explain what they do. They're very, very passionate about what they do as well, and they're very happy to talk to you. If you're not sure, if you don't really understand what some technical terms mean, they're very happy to talk to you about that, no matter what level, or no matter what role they're in. So that's something that I've really, really noticed. Everyone is super friendly, and there's a really, really nice culture here at Arup. And then thirdly, enhancing prosperity for all Arup staff. So really making sure that staff are happy here. They want to come to work with a smile on their face, and ultimately they're going to be developing throughout their journey here at Arup. We're not taking you on as graduates or placement students with the view of you going somewhere else. It's really important for us that we know that we're taking you on. We want to develop you into really, really great engineers, so that you can, in the future, lead our teams and lead the projects that we are delivering. So those are O's 3 key core values. That's a mouthful. Perfect. So I'm conscious of time, just to quickly highlight O's total design philosophy, and probably our most famous project that we have delivered as a company. I'm sure all of you will know this project, which is the Sydney Opera House. I didn't realise how old the Sydney Opera House actually is, but it was first created in 1957, and it took 6 years in total to actually create what was the original foundation and the original design of the Opera House. And then in 2017, so a long time after the initial design was created, we used what we call BIM, so Building Information Modeling, in order to maintain those ongoing refurbishments. So it just shows we aren't, a project that we deliver, we don't just leave it alone. We want to make sure that we are consistently making changes if needed, and making sure that the quality is still maintained, no matter how old the structure actually is. So that's just, I think, a really nice way of encapsulating Arup's total design philosophy. Then quickly, this slide is just the London Olympics. So we were heavily involved in the Olympic Park itself. So you'll see lots of different sort of disciplines and areas that we worked on. So I won't go through all of these, as you can see these on the screen, but heavily involved in some of the stadia, so the handball arena, the warm-up track as well, the geotechnics, which you can see. So I mentioned water being one of our key markets, and we're heavily involved in making sure that's all up to standard. And I think it's just a really nice way of encapsulating how many different things you can do here. You're not defined to one type of role. And I think that's really important. No matter what role you go for, if you'd like to apply, you will get the opportunity to work with different teams and to work on different projects. So I think, yeah, really, really nice slide, that one. And then quickly to highlight our cause fund. So this is the Arup cause fund, which is our sustainability pillar of the business. And I think I mentioned it right at the start of the presentation. We want to make sure that no matter what project we're delivering across the globe, that we leave that community in a better place than it was. We are delivering also lots of aid projects as well, particularly if areas have been hit by hurricanes or natural disasters. So it's something that we are really, really proud of as a business, and we put a lot of resource into. So just to quickly highlight a snapshot of just some of our vacancies. And if you go on our website, you'll see that we have around 100 graduate roles open at the moment. So there is a lot of choice on offer. And I've just listed these between the 3 sectors that I've spoken about. So consulting, infrastructure, buildings. Where you will find most of the engineering roles will be across our infrastructure and building sector. And I won't read all of them out, but just a few you can see. So civil engineers, maritime engineers, electrical engineers, facades engineer as well, which we spoke about. So there are so many different roles on offer. I think the key piece of advice is to have a look. You can go on our website. You can actually put in the area that you want to find out more about. You can filter to those roles. And it's important to make sure that the role you're going for is going to be relevant to you, as you're only allowed to actually apply for one role per year. So lots and lots of grad roles open at the moment. They're due to close relatively soon. Most of them will close mid-November. So it's important that you apply as quickly as you can in order to not avoid any disappointment. And then we're actually going to be opening for our placement opportunities. So our summer and our industrial placements towards the end of November, and they'll be starting in July. And then I can speak about this a little bit later, I'm sure, but quickly just to highlight our recruitment process. So relatively straightforward application form. You'll then be invited to an online situational judgment test. You'll then have your application reviewed by one of our hiring managers, and then you'll be invited to a virtual assessment centre. But happy to talk about that in a little bit more detail, because I'm conscious I've been speaking for quite a long time. Okay, I think that's everything from me.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Dom. Another really, really good overview, and I hope that everyone has found that interesting. I especially enjoyed hearing about your values, which in some ways seem so modern and current. It's amazing to think that they were set so many years ago. Okay, so that wraps up all of our employer presentations. So hopefully our audience has found this really interesting and insightful. We will now move on to the Q&A part of this session. So as I've mentioned before, guys, you can type in your question into the chat box if you'd like to, or you can also use the raise hand function if you would prefer to speak to our panelists via audio instead. So I'll just give it a little bit of time for you to type in your questions. And I think actually we've got the first question already. So Siobhan, this is directed at you. So Tom asks, quick question, is there a general idea of what positions and how many positions will be available in January at 48.3/Richter?
We are currently, in all honesty, reviewing our numbers ready for 2022. So I don't have exact numbers yet across the whole group. What I do know from 48.3 that they will be looking for, in terms of undergraduates, they will be looking for at least Redhill, Gateshead, and Leeds and Glasgow. So at least probably 4 year out placements and at least probably 4 graduate placements. Richter, we're waiting for numbers as well, but probably what I could say is that we've generally taken on for the last year's cohort that all started in September with us, that we have taken on graduates in each of our Richter offices, so that's 8 offices, and with 48.3 we've took on a graduate in 3 of the offices, so gives you an idea. We generally are taking them on in each office, but we'll get the numbers confirmed in January and then we will post them with the university of what's available. And probably what I should have said is our recruitment process is quite simple. It's usually a cover letter and a CV that gets sent in, and it's a 2-stage process with us. So first stage interview, which will be with me, and then a more of a engineering technical interview that will be with the hiring manager face to face, and that is it. And then we will offer. So we're quite a simple process because, you know, we believe in keeping things simple at the Richter Group. Again, like I said, it's all about people. Basically, we hire based on, yeah, the person. It's a cultural fit is the biggest thing for us that matters the most. We can teach you everything else you need to know.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Siobhan. And Tom, hopefully that answers your question. There was an earlier question actually that I missed out. So this is for everyone. Can postgraduate students participate in internships and placements? So perhaps Anthony, I'll start with you.
Yeah, of course. There's no barrier to that. I think just make it clear when you apply, and I don't see that being a problem.
Yeah, and Dom, is it the same at Arup?
Yeah, exactly the same. We get a lot of postgrads doing a placement before they do their masters, so that's quite common.
Brilliant. And Siobhan, I assume it's the same.
Yeah, we had people over the summer doing some internships as well, so it would just be, if that's an interest, then do let us know, and if we have got availability, then obviously we will take people on. So yeah, we have done this summer.
Brilliant, thanks for that. So I've got another question here from Kalechi. Can Cummins and Arup sponsor visas for international candidates? So Anthony, what's the situation in Cummins?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've done that in the past, and we'll continue to do so. So yeah, it's not a barrier. Brilliant.
And Dom?
Yeah, we can for most of our roles. I think the best thing to do is just go on our website, have a look at, you know, if it's a graduate position you're looking for, have a look at the job description, because it will be very clear at the top of that job description whether we can or whether we can't. But hopefully we can for the role that you look at.
Excellent. And Dom, actually, I've got another question here for you. So the student says, being a communication and signal processing engineer, can I work in an electrical graduate role at Arup?
So potentially, yeah, but potentially. I mean, we don't like to put barriers on anything. I think again, it will be a case of having a look at the job description, because what we do here is we consult with our hiring teams, so that we make sure that, you know, we are capturing exactly what they want to see from students. So some teams will turn around to us and say, okay, we will accept degrees in in these subjects, and you can have these grades. Some teams are quite broad like that. Some teams will be relatively specific, and they will say, for this electrical engineering position, you need to be studying, you know, an electrical engineering degree, or at least the modules for that. So I think that's quite a hard one to answer as a group answer, but hopefully that's a bit clearer. I think it's, you know, just important to look at the job descriptions themselves.
Brilliant. Thanks, Dom. So another question here from Emmanuel. So they ask, are there opportunities for foreign PhD students, either in part-time roles or internship opportunities? So I know we touched on that a little bit, but Siobhan, foreign PhD students, any part-time roles or internships?
So again, I think that's just going to be if there's it depends on the individual teams, which office they're looking to be based at, and if we've got the availability to do that. It's all just to do with how that workload is looking in those individual offices, and if they've got the capability to take them on. So case by case basis as and when it arises, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Anthony, I know you mentioned that Cummins do internship opportunities. So is it just specifically summer internships that you offer?
Yeah, we do the summer internship and obviously the 12-month industrial placement as well. So I think, yeah, the opportunities are there and available.
Brilliant. I've got another question here, a continuation of a previous question. So does any employer provide sponsorships for getting a work permit? So Anthony, would Cummins look into sponsoring a work permit for a student?
Yeah, it's the same as the visa. It's a case-by-case thing. So I would say don't let that put you off applying. Find a role that's suitable for you, and I think it's considered as part of the application process. But yeah, for sure, we've done that in the past. Yeah,
and Dom, would it be the same at Arup?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, same answer really. I think you know, we like to just make it very clear right at the start, so there are no surprises later down the line. So anything around work permits or grad visas, you know, it will be clear on the job description.
Brilliant, thanks. I've got another question here for all of you. So Siobhan, maybe we'll start with yourself. The person asks, can I apply for more than one graduate role in a company? So I think you mentioned that you can apply for just one role in any given year, is that right?
That's not us, no. You can apply for, because obviously we've got 48.3 and Richter itself, and so you know you can apply for more than one and more than one location as well. We will advertise obviously on the careers pages on the universities, but we'll also have it on our careers page on our website. You know, to give you an idea, we had some of the students apply, the current intake that we've just had, apply for maybe our Richter business, and they ended up in our 48.3 business because we thought they'd be better suited to that business than maybe the Richter. So, you know, so we will look at when we interview people as well at the time to say, you know, we will ask, will you relocate to any other offices, because there could be great opportunity for roles in those as well. If we've got a heavy number of applicants, then we open up obviously the whole of all our offices to the candidates as well, and just whoever's best suited.
Brilliant, thanks Siobhan. Dom, can people apply to multiple graduate roles at Arup?
Just the one, unfortunately, per year. Yeah, you know, that's just to make sure that people aren't applying for 10 or 20 at a time. I think, yeah, like relatively similar. You'll see on our adverts, particularly where we have a lot of similar requests from the business. So roles like civil engineers, we get lots of those requests. So on an advert like that, you'll see that there are multiple locations that are listed. We have 16 main offices across the UK, so we have a presence in most regions across the UK. So what you can do is just click on a drop down and then indicate your first and second preference on location. So that's something that you can do. yeah, I guess to answer the question, unfortunately not. It's yeah, and I think it was what I was saying a little bit earlier. You know, it's important if there's a role that really catches your eye, that you can spend some good quality time working on that application, making sure that it's the best that it can be, just based on the fact that you can only apply for one per year.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, and I think it applies to, you know, other companies as well. Just take your time really tailoring your application for any one role in any one company, rather than shooting off tens of applications to multiple companies. And Anthony, the same question to you. So can people apply to multiple graduate roles at Cummins?
I think the answer is yes, but we tend to split it by site. So the roles I mentioned in my slides, we've got 20 grad roles we're hiring for in Darlington. They would be considered as one package. So you'd apply for the grad role in Darlington, and then as part of the recruitment process, we'd assess what was the best fit for us and for the applicant on where they would sit within the organisation and which team they would go into. And I think the other sites do the same sort of thing.
Excellent, great. So thanks for clarifying that. So if that's all of the questions in the chat, I'll just have a quick look if anyone's raising any hands and would like to ask a question in person. So nothing, no one I can see. If anyone does have any, oh, a question has just come in. So the person says it's great that there are opportunities for foreign PhD students, but my issue is that international students are limited to work in 20 hours per week. I'd want to obtain some job experience while studying for my PhD. Is this possible? Siobhan, would you like to take this one?
Yeah, it's the same answer really. I've just had, to be fair, I've just interviewed somebody this week in not doing their PhD, but doing their MSc. Same situation, international visa, graduate visa, looking for that opportunity. And we've interviewed them with the view that, you know, we haven't got anything at the moment, but we're you know, if something does come up, that, you know, we'll take them on. It all depends on our work bank, you know, for the particular office they were looking for. But that same person we've told them we'll consider for the graduate position next year as well in that office. So it's worth still applying. It is just on a, you know, a case by case and need basis, or it could be, you know, we could have a you know, give some work experience for a short period of time. We're well aware there's you know, a working limit as well to do with that, the visa requirements. So it's just, yeah, we can't advertise those sorts of positions just as and when. It could just be that particular office says, yeah, I can take somebody for however many months because I've got this particular project and they can work on that. You know, it is, you know, just as a need arises really. So there's no harm in applying. It just might be that we have to just keep it on hold until it, you know, something arises.
Yeah, and Anthony and Dom, I don't know if it would be quite similar at Arup and Cummins. Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Oh, go on, Anthony.
Exactly the same as Siobhan said. I think I would agree with that completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree also. I think particularly for our placement positions, we'd expect someone to be working sort of 37.5 hours per week. There have been instances where we've had people do sort of ad hoc projects with a team as part of their masters or their PhD. But as I said, that's not really a structured thing. But I'm just popping an email address into the chats that you can get in touch with any specific questions like that. Hopefully we can give you an answer, because yeah, I've seen it a few times, but I'm not totally clear on how we can go about it.
Yeah, and you know, as a general piece of advice, I think it's always worth for you students reaching out to companies to inquire about these kind of you know, non-full-time opportunities, because even though they're not advertised, there may be something available, you know, maybe just a short project that you could help out with. So definitely always worth inquiring. So yeah, thanks for sharing your email address there, Dom, and Siobhan as well. So I think we're just coming to the end of the session now. So thank you everyone ever so much for your questions, for your brilliant questions. And we'll stop the recording now. Tom, if you could stop that.